Welcome to another episode of Alignment First, where we're here to bring leaders back to their peace, presence, and power. Mike Anders here, and I've got the joy and the pleasure to catch up and reconnect with my boy, Dr. Derek Price, NFL athlete turned physician. I know you from the gym space once upon a time when I was fresh out of the Marines, and we were running the circuit, Rush Club, and all that during the good old days of CrossFit. And we've since not necessarily gone our separate ways, but we are just in each other's orbit. And I'm super excited to catch up with you, man. You're always up to great stuff. Just a beautiful mind in the space of leadership as it pertains to faith, family, fitness, and finance. And I don't know where we're going to go today. I really don't have a plan. I just want to reconnect, get the download on your philosophy, what you're bringing to the world these days, and see where it goes, man. I appreciate you making the time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. It has been a minute, dude. You brought me back like Rush Club, boy. It's been a minute, right? Good times though, man. That was when dudes were like, I'm gonna pay money to watch other people work out. Good times, man. That was a lot of fun. We were rolling back then.
Oh man, I'm curious, dude, because you don't have like the conventional, and I'm running in these circles now of athletes turned executive and entrepreneur, and you don't have what I'll call the typical path into what you do from that pool as I've come to know it. You became a fucking doctor after the league.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, your exit from the NFL was because you broke your neck.
Facts.
Was that the I need to go learn about this and I want to make it my profession, or why didn't you get into, like, I know you coach now, but why didn't you do what the most guys do and stay in the game, so to speak?
Dude, here's an unpopular answer because I don't really like football.
Tell me more.
I was broke and I had no ability to get to college, and but I was athletic enough that and it really comes, a lot of the coaching, Mike, comes back to like, so I didn't grow up with a father. Like, my father passed away when I was very young, 7 years old, as the oldest boy. Not for a pity party, this is just what makes me, right? So early on, I started to understand. My mother used sports as my babysitter. So like in my whole grow up, I was always in that, like, 2 sports at a time. I was like I'd have like baseball practice after school from 4 to 6, and then go to soccer from 7 to 8, and then get home, and then my mom's home, and she wouldn't have to babysit. And what I found along the way was, if I listened to coaches, they usually had, like, what was best for me, like, hidden in the weeds in the messaging. And it took a long time to, like, trying to fret all that out, but I really started buying into mentorship and leadership, and also attracted to it because it was a void in my life when I was in, like, high school. And one of the coaches was like, man, listen, you have some raw talent, and if we develop that a little bit, I could probably get you into, like, a junior college scholarship, which, unless you have money to pay for school, like, it's not a bad route. I didn't know it was a thing, right? So I kind of go down that route, and I get to MCC and I do well, and I get a couple offers to some small schools, and the head coach changes over, and the new coach comes in and goes, hey man, I know you're on your way out and you're going to go to, like, New Mexico Highlands. I can't remember the name of the school, something small. Same thing. He's like, if you work a little harder, I think you can do a little better. And, like, so dudes kept laying out the prescription for me.
Yeah. And
I started to realize if I just do the work, like, good shit happens. So I do the work, and then, by the third game, I had Ohio State, Alabama, Penn State, anywhere, those blue chip, All-American, all of the things that go along with it.
Yeah.
And that's what led me to Iowa. And so, like, this football journey wasn't like I had some insatiable desire to play the game of football.
Yeah.
I mean, ask your brother how he feels about it. like banging your face on people's cool for the fans, but, like, it kind of sucks. Like, and then so I end up blah, blah, blah. I go to Iowa, and this happens again. Like, I'm like, hey man, I'm going to finish my degree, and I'm going to get out. I'm going to be like some businessman. I don't know what, but I'm going to, I got a degree. I'm going to go into business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I graduate, and I had to didn't sign up for pro days, didn't show up for pro days, didn't do any of that stuff. I was like, dude, I'm done with it. Like, football was a means to an end for me.
Yeah.
It got me the degree at Iowa. I'm bill free, full ride, good. And so I go home, and Chuck Long, who was our quarterback coach, was a runner up to Bo Jackson, who was second in the Heisman, calls me on the phone. And this is just another like God just reaching out and saying, hey, Derek, listen, man, I need you to come back to Iowa and run for these pros. Like, you're going to regret it the rest of your life. If it doesn't work, you're where you are now. If it does work, like, just give it a shot.
Right.
And like, I was like, I don't know, man, like, this, that. So anyway, I go back and I run. And by that point in time, it was so close to the draft that I hadn't submitted papers. I wasn't draft eligible, like whatever. But on the first day I get, picked up, I had a bunch of teams calling my agent, and Detroit signs me. And I go there, and that's kind of the progression of like how I went from, a street rat in Tempe
mm-hmm.
to the league. Was just coaches like, if you do more work than the guy next to you, like, things will break your way. And they just did. And they did. And it just, that's how I kind of learned and really bought into this whole coaching mentor thing as being a reality, because they steered me right.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get hip to, because this is a lot of the narrative and the initial conversations I'm having with people right now, especially when they're transitioning away from athletics or the veteran community transitioning away from the military. You take all that mentorship, that scaffolding that supports your greatness for granted, or you dismiss it completely and you just become a legend in your own mind. Like, I'm who I am because of me, not all that accountability, not that coach up your ass, keeping you on the straight and narrow, not the teammates holding you accountable to perform.
Yeah.
We forget about all that. And then next thing you know, we're out there in the world alone and afraid
mm-hmm.
for the first time. And all of a sudden, those systems, those ecosystems that are generations old at this point, you're now responsible to recreate that on your own. When you left sport, did you immediately hitch your wagon to another horse in mentorship, or were you one of those lost souls?
I did. I got lucky, dude. Like, and to the first part of your question, I think we all think that we did it ourselves when we're there. I think that when we first leave, the medals are on my chest. I earned them type thing. We love the team, but I think the further you get from it, Mike, you realize like, oh man, I was part of something, and that something worked. And within that something, like, I did well. Like you could be the greatest receiver in the world. If you don't have an offensive line and a quarterback, like, it don't matter. Like, you're getting no balls, you're getting no touchdowns, So, yeah, I think leaving originally, I probably thought that like I got there on my accord, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the myopic version of like my hard work and my consistency, and I showed up for the workouts. And then you forget, like, well, who formulated the workouts and who wrote them for you and who was there coaching you and who was there making you better? And you're like, you see the eye and you forget about the environment that they put you in. Like, if you played college sports, or if you're in the military, you didn't just pick up a gun and go out in the woods and shoot and learn how to run tactics. They put you in your CQB houses and videotaped every move you made. And you're like, look how good I am. They're like, yeah, within the system we created. But you don't figure that out until like long after. But one of the things that like I got lucky on is this is another, like in this story, I feel like I see where it's going. Like it has continual milestones of like, and I'm not sexist at all, but like just male intervention in my life. So I go, so I break my neck, 4 games left to go. I don't tell anybody because I was the lucky to be their player on the Detroit Lions. Like, I wasn't the first round draft pick. I was a rookie. I played in every game, started against Green Bay. Like, I was the lucky to be their kid, undersized at the time. Like, I'm only 6'3". I was like 260. And back then we were blocking tight ends. We didn't have all this cool run around, catch the ball shit. So I missed my era, right? So anyway, so I break my neck. I don't tell anybody. My wife knows, Heather, who was with me then, still with me now. And she's like, dude, you can't move your arm. And I'm like, it's shaking and it's not moving. So I on the flight home after our last game against the 49ers, this is how like med check used to go. Like, hey man, do you need to see a doctor? Or are you good to be released? And I'm like, I'm good. So I go back to Phoenix after our last game and just kind of hide out and start doing my own little rehab, which is just, pumping pig and lifting weights all day. And, by the time I go back to I get a contract and we sign it, and I nice little bonus and nice, bump up from my first year contract. And when I go back out to the OTA, they're like, I had like an 18.5-inch right arm. I'm like 270 pounds at the time. And my left arm was like 12 inches around.
Oh shit.
Like all the nerves in the whole tricep and just shut off, done. It was just shaking. It was just doing this all the time. So it was just kind of like going like this, and there was just nothing there. And so I walk in and they're like, yo, what the hell is going on? And I was like, what are you talking about? And so immediately, they spin me up, and I find myself in Los Angeles out at Curlin Job Clinic, and I'm in front of this surgeon, which for those of you guys don't know, there's executive VIP level surgeons, and there's executive levels on hospitals that if you know, and if you've never been invited, you just don't know they exist. Because I'm hanging out with Shaquille O'Neal and Lottie Divac, and they have sushi bar buffet in the middle of the hospital waiting room. And I was like, what hospital I am in right now? Like a secret floor. Anyway, I go to the doctor, and he's looking at it. He's like, yeah, your neck is straight. It should be curved. And all the impact was just jamming, and it just exploded and blah, 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 whatever. And he looks at me, and this is a world-renowned surgeon that literally just saw Shaquille O'Neal and Lottie Divac were the two patients in front of me, and I was the third one in. Which is me having a conversation with Shaquille alone back in the day is a whole nother conversation for 2 hours, and I don't even know what he said. Like, I was like, bro, I literally don't know what you're saying. Like, so the man shook my hand, dude. He grabbed. I was like,
he shook your elbow.
He was like, hey, bro, I was like, there's nobody here to even witness this. So, but dude, the surgeon looks at me and goes, man, you should have went to a chiropractor. And I didn't know anything about chiropractic other than like what I'd heard some other people say or whatever. So I jump on the bandwagon. I'm like, bro, I wasn't going to put like chicken blood in my ear and rub a crystal up my nose. Those guys suck. And this dude looks at me, and this is like a 5'5" world-renowned spine surgeon, maybe 120 pounds. And he takes his glasses off, and like I can smell his cologne. I know where I was sitting. I know what he said. Everything. He goes, that is a very naive statement. And put his glasses on and walked out of the room. And that was it. Just cold.
Wow.
I didn't see him again until surgery. I think he came by when I woke up. They kept me for a week. I go home. I'm wearing the whole halo and the brace and all that.
Yeah.
I never saw him again, right? He was the surgeon. He wasn't the follow-up guy. And blah, 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 whatever. I go back to Detroit, and they're like, hey, man, you can't do this game anymore. Lloyd's of London won't cover you. Like, you got a broken neck. You hit people with your face. You're a kickoff guy. We don't do wedge busting with broken necks. See you later. So I go home, and I'm like, what do I do now? Like, what's the next move? So I got home on a Monday. On Tuesday, there was this dude that had a sign that said chiropractor by my house. And I go walk in his office, and I was like, hey man, what do you do? And he's like, and I'm looking around, and it looks like a gym. It looks like an old CrossFit gym.
Yep. And
like, he's stretching people, and they're working out over here, and people are happy. And I was like, this is just like, this kind of gives me some nostalgia. Yeah. Like, I'm kind of cool. This is like a club. People are showing up, and people are happy, and they're feeling good. And this is pretty cool. And he goes, yeah, man, this is what my lifestyle looks like. He had to be real successful. And he's like, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, where do you go to school? He's like, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, cool. By the Wednesday of the next week, I had sight unseen, because remember, we didn't have internet back then, bro. This is like 98.
Sure.
I called this place and said, hey, I need to rent an apartment. They're like, we got a 2-bedroom for you for $300. I was like, money?
Yeah.
My wife and I loaded up the car and jammed back to the Quad Cities. And I went, 5 more years of school. That's how fast that went. And then I came back and worked for him for a couple of years, and then bought him out, and on goes the story of my medical career. But But each one of those was like listening to when somebody better than me and more educated than me in that position gave advice. And then the really big thing, Mike, that I think that you and I talk about is then doing something with the advice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you just hear it, you don't do anything, like it doesn't mean shit. But every time I got that advice, I was like, oh, okay, then I'll do that. And that's just kind of set up, my world. And I think you said like, hey, it's a little bit different. A lot of athletes getting out. Like, listen, like military guys and athletes, especially like tier 1 guys and guys who are at the tip of the spear, and then guys who play at high levels. It's the same guys. It's the same jokes. It's the same locker room. It's the same camaraderie. And like, I don't know about you, but like, that's what I miss the most. I didn't miss the fans. I don't miss the game. I didn't miss the stadium. I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss the paycheck. But the team, that locker room vibe is like what I miss the most. So yeah, that's kind of where I went.
It's interesting that you say that, man, because that I've come to notice the narrative behind the athlete transition. And this is coming from a dude that experienced that identity loss twice. When I left football and then when I left the Marines. And in the athlete ecosystem, everything that you take from sport makes you superhuman out here in the corporate sector. In the veteran community, it was so interesting. I was just in this room in Austin with Christian Ponder. I'm going to have him on in a couple of weeks. He's got this group called The Post that is athletes turned executive and entrepreneur, and everybody wants to be there. Everybody's super pumped and service forward. What are you working on? How can we jam together and make this thing happen and move the needle? And in the veteran community, there's a step backwards before you can take that quantum leap forward, where you have to fix all the shit that the military broke before you can become a productive citizen in civilian society again. And like, I'm like on a mission when I meet these veteran nonprofits, specifically for what we do in coaching and next level, that they want to align with us and serve that mission. I'm like, well, you got to change the narrative first, because the reason that these veteran programs, specifically in the nonprofit sector, aren't sticky and you like really struggle with retention once you get them in, it's because it's like, dude, if we're all broken, why the fuck do I want to be here? Like, I already feel fucked up. You're not helping me solve this problem. Right.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm so happy that you had made that connection, because where I want to go next is with regards to serving men. When I got out, I came into CrossFit right out of the Marines, and like the Kokoro was jumping off. You've played around in the SEAL Fit and programs of that nature along the way. And I used to chuckle because my naive, devil dog Michael was like, man, if you have made it to your mid 40s, you got that badass house, that fine ass woman, that sweet ass car, and you didn't have to go through all that shit. What are you why are you doing it now?
Yeah.
That's young man shit. That's like, I don't know nothing about life stuff. Like, and there's a calling. Like, you've already proven it. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
So the question then becomes, if you've done all of that and you've created that socioeconomic abundance for yourself, why do those men still feel like there's a piece missing? What did they miss, in what rite of passage did they skip that has them being called back to those experiences that you find in two-a-days and in boot camp?
I think that that's an interesting question, because I think I have two responses. One, I think that there's just a DNA trait that calls some people to just do hard shit. And they find comfort in it. And that's not going to make sense to like 99 out of 100 people that are listening to this right now. is that like, if you said, go talk about your feelings or read poetry or not work out for a week, that would be 1,000 times harder than if you were like, grab a 100-pound rock and walk up a mountain. I'd be like, yeah, I'll do that. And it's not that I fear other things, but I think there's an innate, maybe it's nature, maybe it's nurture, I don't know. But hard things have always made the rest of my life easier. Mm-hmm. And I think once you unlock that algorithm and you understand, like, look, why do I swing a bat with weights on it before I go to the plate? Because I want to swing a heavier bat than what I have to swing when I actually get up there, right? Mm-hmm. Why do I run with a weight vest on? Because when I take it off, I'll run faster. Like, you know, like I have found early on in life that the harder things I do push the parameter, like that circle of who you are, the margin of your experience, right? Like, mm-hmm. like if the farthest you've ever run is 5 miles, then that's your 100%. Mm-hmm. But can you imagine if you took that guy and he ran 50 miles and you took him to 50? Now that's his new 100%. He looks back and you're like, hey man, you're running 5 miles. You're like, dude, I don't even tie my shoes for that. Mm-hmm. So when you experience hard things, I think it legitimately changes how you view and act in this world. And I think things that were hard or are still hard to other people become easier. And I think it's a hack. I honestly think it's a hack. Like I seek out, like I've done like 50 something triathlons and Ironmans and jujitsu, like a lot of shit. Not because I'm like, hey man, I need you to know about it. And that's going to like, it doesn't make me any money. All those things are things that like I paid for, like Kokoro, Seal Fit. You know, funny that you say that. I look back and I was like, dude, that was the hardest thing I ever did. It was one of the greatest things I ever did, but it's also the thing I tell people never to go do because 80 people start and like 12 people finish. And like, you know what I'm talking about? Like everybody wants to be that dude until it's 3 a.m. and you haven't eaten for 2 days and you have, you're sand chafing and you're freezing cold and there's nobody clapping for you. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. You know? So I think that the people that I'm attracted to in this world are iron, and I think iron sharpens iron. And I think that like those kind of people like to do hard things and have a background of having done hard things. I think I resonate with them. Like Mike, you and I met, and it was like there wasn't like an hour or 2 hours or weeks of bona fides. It was like, hey, what's up, dog? Hey, okay, you're in the core. You play ball. I play ball. I did this. Cool. Okay, cool. We're good.
Yep.
Like I know you. You know me. If I meet, no disrespect, but if I meet like an accountant that went to like Harvard and never did anything, like for me to let him in, like to my home and into my life, he's just not from my crew, right? It's not from my tribe. I respect it. I like it. Maybe we'll break bread. I'll be friends. But there's going to be a longer thing. But when you just come in and say, yeah, I'm a vet. I went out and did some stuff. And I know what that world is like from a third, you know, from groups of people that I live this life with. Or like, hey man, I've been through 2 days at the highest level. Like, bro, I know what you've done.
Yep.
And it's like just, it's a fraternity, brother. It's like auto respect. So, and I think it's addicting, man. I think hard things are addicting. Like it's, you know, it's kind of been the story of my life. Like I like things, and as soon as it becomes complacent and easy, I move on from doctor to CEO to whatever. You know, I take an unusual path there.
It's interesting, man. You know, that searching for belonging, it fascinates me. You know, there was. What are we in 25? I wasn't too long into entrepreneurship and owning the gym before I realized that like your fitness or lack thereof is really a symptom of the things that you're not dealing with in the other 23 hours of your day.
That's so real. Yeah.
So like I got really curious and started helping clients solve those problems. And then all of a sudden the fitness fell into place, you know, but putting the try this on to see how it fits. I'm curious. I've been playing with this thought loop around putting the identity in front of the goal. 6-pack abs, for example. Okay. client comes in and says, I got to have a six pack. If I get the six pack, my world improves. And what I've come to identify is that on the you don't want the six pack, you want the six pack that substantiates the identity on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not equipped with the patterns, the rituals, the behaviors, the beliefs of the person with that six pack.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I see coaching in the zeitgeist of social media right now. Mm-hmm. Everybody's talking about that fucking six pack. Nobody's talking about who you have to become to achieve it.
Yeah.
And what we've done, and this is where the question is put the identity in front of the goal. Because if you do that and you adopt those habits, behaviors, patterns, and beliefs, the six pack becomes automatic with so much less friction. You don't need the fucking Kokoro experience.
Yeah.
If you adopt the identity first. Where's your mind go when I say that?
I think it's really interesting. So when you kind of look at the finish line, like I want to be an Ironman finisher. But that's such like a small part of like the journey that made you an Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, the race itself is 1 day. The build is 1 year. You see what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like saying, I want to be a college graduate. Okay, well, like, do you want to just show up on that day and get a diploma? Because you didn't live the life of how do you balance work and life and school and all that? Like my jiu-jitsu black belt, right? Everybody wants to be a black belt. What does it mean to be a black belt? It's not a subset of techniques like, hey, Mike, look at these techniques I've learned. It's what I've gained from it is the journey. So like abs is an end result, right? It's a symptom of a subset of work that you did. A black belt is just a milestone in your journey to get there. And a lot of people, like, they identify with the journey, that's cool, like, or they identify with the end result. But then when they see the workload to get there, they're like, I'm out. Like how many people start off with looking at a picture of Zac Efron and be like, bitch, I'm not eating tacos anymore. It's ab season. Let's go. And then actually get to that. I bet you it's like 1 in 10,000. How many people start like Joe Rogan made jiu-jitsu wildly popular. And now everybody's like, I'm going to go do jiu-jitsu. Well, cool. For every dude that starts, like 1 in 10,000 might get to their black belt. You know, and the difference is like, hey, look, in football, you get to a certain level, they just cut you. And you're like, hey, man, you didn't quit the game. The game just said, like, you're not keeping up with the pace of the game and you don't get to do this anymore.
Right.
But like when somebody starts like martial arts, like jiu-jitsu, you just have to show up. It took me 20 years. You just have to keep showing up when you don't want to do it. But I think that the journey, if somebody said there, you have to take that black belt away and nobody ever knows about it, or you get to keep the life of everything you learned getting to that one moment where they tied that little piece of cloth around your waist. I'm going to take the journey.
Yeah. Because
the journey taught me everything, molded me to who I am, created me, opened my eyes, gave me wisdom. Like getting to abs, if I could just hit a machine and you have abs, then you missed all the discipline.
Yeah.
And you missed all the sacrifice, and you missed all the commitment to cause, and you missed all the binary decisions where you like made a good decision or you made a bad decision, and you made the good decision, you made another good decision, then you start to trust yourself and you're getting momentum, and then other shit in your life starts getting better.
Yeah.
Right? Like abs, like if you have abs, like God bless you, that's great. If you earned your abs and you weren't born with them, like Mike and I know plenty of dudes just born with abs, right? But there's dudes that earn them, like good on you, bro. I see you differently because as you walk into the room, they say lions see lions, right?
That's right?
I get it. You walk into the room and I'm like, and I can use fitness to immediately know who you are and who you're not. if you're an executive and you walk in, and this is going to be painful, but this is what it is. If you walk in and you're fat, you cut corners. Mm-hmm. Little things aren't important to you. Oh, I don't have time. Bullshit. Like, you don't get fat by not working out. You get fat by doing stupid shit. Mm-hmm. And right. And that's where I think fitness and leadership tie together. But to kind of truncate that answer is, I think that we start with the end in mind. I want abs. I want $1 million. I want to be married. I want to have kids. I want a black belt. I want to become a pilot. I want to become a doctor. But for those people that go through that journey, I promise you 99 out of 100, when they get there, they reward and value the journey more than that end result. Mm-hmm.
It's funny, man. You know, what's showing up for me is you make that description. You know, I did everything I wanted to do in the Marines in my first 4 years. Otherwise, I would have stayed in. Like, I literally checked every single box. And these are the things that I coach now. You know, you talk about once you've hit that milestone or you've accomplished everything that you want to accomplish, there's no point in staying with it any longer. You either move the goalpost or you move on to something else. Mm-hmm. You know, and what's funny to me, you know, having, you know, climbed Kilimanjaro and, you know, your Ironmans and Corcoros and all that shit, mine are just fucking long walks up mountains, brother. And like, the summit's cool.
Yeah.
But the stories and like all the hard steps from day one to the summit, like there is no story about the result. Mm-hmm. Like, think about that. You've achieved a certain rank in jiu-jitsu. Nobody asks about the belt. They want to know what you did or how you did it. Yeah. You know, you played for the Detroit Lions. Mm-hmm. Nobody asks you about the game. Mm-hmm. They ask you about what it's like. Yeah. And your description, correct me if I'm wrong, is everything but the fucking game. Mm-hmm. True or false?
100% true. Like, if you wrote a book about the accomplishment and you put the accomplishment as the sole most important thing, it'd be a 1-page book.
One sentence.
Nobody wants to read it. Yep. Hey man, I won the CrossFit Games. Okay, see you later. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, that would suck. Mm-hmm. But how about, like, hey man, I saw this thing, I started working out and I was overweight, like David Goggins. Hey, I did this ultra marathon. Okay, goodbye. My book's over. No. I was 300 pounds. I wanted to do this. It's in the journey. Mm-hmm. The journey is what shapes you, because what you do, and I'm seeing where you're going. Like, so what you do most is what you become. Yes or yes, right? Yep. So you walked up Kilimanjaro. You know, I did Ironman. Like, whatever. Pick a whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. Yep. But to anything that's worth doing, and it is hard, right? Like, I'm not talking about, like, I went to McDonald's and ordered a cheeseburger. Like, anybody can do that. I'm talking about, like, I went and built a restaurant, like something like that. That's hard. Yeah. But for me to do, let's just use black belt because it's easy. Yeah. For me to get my black belt in jiu-jitsu, the ceremony was 1 hour. Mm-hmm. The journey was 21 years. Mm-hmm. Those don't compare. No. Like, there's a book and a movie, and what shaped me and where I put all of my time on this side of the fence, the end result is like, it's in my bio. You earned this, like, check. Nobody cares. Right? Mm-hmm. So, I think in this microwave society we live in, Mike, and social media is like made it worse. Mm-hmm. Is it's like image over integrity, image over reality, like whatever you want to say it. Like people play a role, they play a character, they get online and they blow up their accomplishments. But I just want to hear the story. Like, yeah, dude, I'm interested in, like, hey, Mike, like, I don't care that you got XYZ medal on your chest. I want the stories, like, how did Mike build that up and get to that? Yeah. Because that's what made you, that the ceremonies where you got awarded shit. Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. Somebody values it. Hey, high five. We're all going to take it. I like it. to say we don't like to get petted would be a lie. But like the story is, and then the day you got your accommodations and medal, the story is like, hey man, like what was it like freezing and sitting in a hole and being scared and being hungry and being wet and not knowing what tomorrow looks like? Like that's the real shit.
Beyond sport, what's been, how many kids you got? Three. All girls?
All girls. But dude, check it out. As of Saturday, we did a reveal. My oldest daughter's pregnant. So excited, man. I'm so fucking excited. And she's having a boy. I prayed for health.
Come on.
I'm healthy. Now I have a boy, little Braxton Troy Dupuis will be with us March 29th. And I get to 3 girls. I love my girls. My girls act like boys. They look like Barbie, play like Ken. They break horses. They're water polo players. They're, national champion dancers, all that shit. They get down like, but man, it's going to be nice it'll be nice to have a little boy.
Get a little testosterone in the mix.
Just a little bit. I got girl dogs, girl horses, and married for 30 years. Like, girls around me, bro. Like, dude, that you want to know what makes you go do shit like Kokoro? You're like, well, I'm surrounded by girls. Like, not eating for 3 days can't be harder than this. I'm out.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah.
Dude, so I love this. Like as fathers, my wife and I, your wife's an athlete, my wife's an athlete. We have moments in parenting where my wife has looked at me and just expressed just gratitude for it, like in these moments where she's like, this is why fathers exist, because what just happened. And I'm not even talking about like strict disciplinarian type shit. She's like, mom, couldn't do what you just did. Where does that show? Does that dynamic exist for you as a father and a husband?
Totally. Yeah. And I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think what's sad, and I'm not talking about the guys that don't grow up with a dad. Like that's one thing. And the guys maybe in the inner city that don't know their dad, or, it's not, the situation doesn't work out. That's another thing. But I'm talking about like when my wife hangs out in the social circles that she hangs out with, other executives, other families that do okay, country club, whatever. She comes home. She's like, I can't believe how they talk about their husbands. He's never there. And I'm like, whoa, they got like a 10,000 square foot house, 3 Lamborghinis and a fucking helicopter. And she's like, and the wife is miserable because he ain't there. The kids hate him. Yeah. He ain't there. And so what's crazy, Mike, is I get applauded for being present. Yeah. Like the barrier of the standard for being a dad and being good now is like, can you show up? Can you just be present? It's not even like, did you teach him math, or were you disciplinarian, and did you have honest conversations? That's all like sprinkles on the cake, on the ice cream. Like, dude, I could point to families on Instagram. You'd be like, they got it all together. I'll be like, let me tell you, that woman hates that man. That man uses work as his mistress. He's not cheating on her. But that dude's working 100 hours a week and finding a way to get these meetings out of town. He's not doing anything bad. He's just not at home. And he's lying to himself that they want my money, and they'd rather have this and the new Jordans than me home for their birthday. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know how to correct that. I tell people all the time, like, hey, dad, mission number 1, like you can get my Instagram past 10 years. PSA, dads, just fucking be present. That's 90% of the solution. Show up. Yeah. Just show up. Luke says the same thing. Like everybody that really gets into fatherhood is like, bro, just show up. Just be present. But I'm look, man, I'm blessed, man. I have a beautiful wife. We were best friends. The day we met was right out of high school in 1991. We've been together ever since. Yeah, she was an athlete. She was a Cardinal cheerleader and dancer and all that kind of stuff. But she still takes the time to tell me, like, man, I made a good choice and I love you and I respect you. And I think that goes a long way. Like it almost makes you want to show up more. You know what I mean?
All day long, man. Absolutely.
Like when I hear that, I'm like, it was like, look, we're men, we're dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I pee on the carpet, smack my nose. If I pee outside and you give me a treat, I'm like, I'll do that again. Like it's pretty simple. You know what I mean? Like I found out like 15 years ago that if you do the dishes when you weren't asked, dude, turn out the lights, light the candles, you know? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's a hack, you know? So
yeah, man.
I mean, I'm sure I am. I think just, you know, I don't think there's a secret to fatherhood. I think that it's being present. And I think a lot of the guys lie to themselves about their reality. And they openly lie about their relationships that they want to have with their kids that they don't have, and that they want to have with their wife and they don't have. Mm-hmm. And I think that they floss where it's just not real.
What's your tolerance for lack of character?
Poison. As soon as you know, great question, Mike. And I'm 53. I've matured to that. Early in life, it wasn't that. Early in life, it was like, if you had something I wanted, I might have still spent some time with you. If I thought that you had a certain rapport, I might spend some time with you. If I looked up or idolized you because of maybe what you had, not who you were, and that was more important to me. Like before I had things, like maybe I looked at material things and thought they had more value than they do. Mm-hmm. I would tolerate that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I have found as I've gotten older that I don't value things anymore. Mm-hmm. Because I'm at a stage in my life where like I'm not buying private helicopters to the islands, but I can eat, right? You know, mm-hmm. like I can eat and there's a roof over my head and there's gas in my car. And so now I value like time and relationships, and I value people that I want to be around. And I have learned, like doctoring for a long time, coaching for a long time, there are people that suck the energy out of me. Mm-hmm. They're vampires. They drain me. They're parasites. And I try to fix them because I try to be a fixer. And, you know, I'll try one, it doesn't work, shame on me. Try two, you know, shame on me again. Try three, like, man, fuck it. Like, you just don't get to be in my world anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's usually a walk-off, right? And this is interesting because you would say, man, that guy's a dick. No. Because when I allow poison into my life, it pollutes my wife and my kids and my family. Mm-hmm. And if I ask you straight up, hey, Mike, are you cool if by spending time with you, you become a worse version of self, and then that's who you give to your family? Like, would you tolerate that?
Fuck no, absolutely not.
So when people say, would you hang out with shitbags or poison or vampires? No, because it makes me a lesser version of self because mm-hmm. you took something from me.
Right.
And now I don't have that to give to my family, and I'm selfish about it. Like, I want to surround myself with people. Like, if I'm the smallest fish in the pond in every regard, that's the pond I want to be in. Mm-hmm. I want to be surrounded by people that walk in their faith that I look up to. I want to be surrounded by people that are in business that have more commas in their paychecks than I do, not more dollars. I want to be surrounded by athletes that do things, no arms, no leg, hike Kilimanjaro, like those guys. Like, mm-hmm. let me get in their head, because for me, I can I'm hoping not to be the poison in their life, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But when I find somebody that like anchor chains and starts dragging me down, you know, I used to try and fix everything. I used to tolerate it, but I realized, like, lay down with the dogs, man, you get the fleas, and that fleas come back to the house, and now mm-hmm. you're associated with them. And, you know, dude, with how we're all lined up on social media now, you fuck around with the wrong people, bro, and you get put in that circle. There's opportunities that you'll never even know about that won't come your way because somebody's like, hey, I'm going to call Mike. Oh, he fucks around with Teddy. Mm-hmm. Nah, bro, leave him. Like, Mike's a good dude, but like, you know.
Yeah.
Let's go give this opportunity to John over here. Mm-hmm. So I don't mean to soapbox you on that, but that's
man, I love it.
When it comes to like toxic, poisonous people, mm-hmm. I don't tolerate it. Like I don't think jokes are funny that you wouldn't tell in front of mixed groups. Mm-hmm. Like, look, don't run around and tell me who you are and then try and tell me racist jokes when somebody's not in the room. Don't tell me who you are on Sunday and let me see you and then turn around and live a different life right in front of me. You know, like I just, mm-hmm. I'm not going to beat you up. I'm not going to call you on it. I'm just going to excuse me. Hey, man, cool. Yeah, sounds good, man. Yeah, I love you, man. You give me a call. And then I'm just saying.
When did you stop explaining yourself?
Bro, it wasn't until like 5 years ago. So what had happened was, so I got to a level, everything was going well. And a group comes along and says, hey, come be the CEO of this hospital. And I go, all right. Here comes Derek filling the square. Like, haven't done that yet. Like, let's go be a hospital CEO. And I was like, and I came from an MSK background, and I ran ortho and pain and chiro and PT and all that stuff. And this was mental health and substance abuse. I don't know nothing about that. Nothing. My first job in mental health was CEO of one of the largest hospitals in the country. Bro, nothing. It's like if I put you in China right now, I'm like, Mike, you're a government employee in China. Go speak Chinese. Like, I don't know where to start, dude, So, but what I learned in that is mental health, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to shit on mental health, honestly. Like people that were depressed or PTSD or anxiety. I'm like, well, like, don't be sad or like get over it or don't stress out about that. Say, make those dumbass comments.
Yeah. And another naive statement.
Totally naive subset, but like my life opened it up to me. And that's where I realized that like you kind of are the sum collective of like the dudes you hang out with. And we've all heard that. Mm-hmm. But then I see it and I'm like, man, depressed people hang out with depressed people. And I feel, and I see how fast like your mind can get altered and changed if the group you're around is all vibing in one direction.
Yeah.
I think we see it in society, and we see it, like regardless of your political affiliations, like Charlie Kirk got murdered, and to be like, oh yeah, like pride, we got him, like, whoa, I'm talking about murder, like, yeah. And then the funny thing is, these are the people that are like, violence is word. I'm like, no, violence is like when you get your smile changed, like that's violence. Words aren't violent. Violent people are violent, right? Mm-hmm. So I really started paying attention to like what was going into my head when I started hanging out with a lot of the psychiatrists and psychologists at these hospitals, and they really started to make sense of, Derek, what you take in, just like food. Like Mike, you're a fitness expert, and you could tell me, Derek, here's the macros you need for your body to perform at its best level. Mm-hmm. Here's the vitamins you need for your body to perform at its best level. Words, thoughts, feelings, and emotions are the same thing for your brain to perform at its best level. For how you see the world, optimist, pessimist, hope, failure. And like we don't, because I can't tangibly hold that in my hand and go, hey, Mike, look at my level of positivity that I brought into my brain today. Look at, I did 7 ounces. I hit my macros of positive.
Yeah.
Which would be, somebody's going to crack that code one day. Mike, you should admit that, like, hey, I got the macros for your nutrition. I also have the macros for your psychology. Like, matter of fact, like, I think we just created that together. So if it comes out of this,
let's make that happen, dude.
But it became obvious to me that, like, thoughts are things, and your subconscious is this great white wall of nothing, and whatever you picture you paint back there in your subconscious, it's like, okay, that's who we are. That's how we see the world. And man, it can be the most powerful thing on the planet, and a lot of dudes talk about it. It can also be the most detrimental thing on the planet.
So for somebody who was absent a father from a really young age, and I lost my dad at 23.
Sorry to hear that.
It's all good, man. He's watching. I've done the work.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the work. He still shows up. It's wild. But those conversations are on other podcasts. Sure. For somebody who lost his dad so young and whose mom used sport as a babysitter, and now that you have this relatively recent raised level of awareness around your circle of influence, do you feel like you were intuitively surrounding yourself with people that propelled you in a positive direction, or do you chalk that up as to sheer fucking luck?
To think that I had a hand in choreographing the roadmap, at least in the earlier years, would be a lie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was life preserver to life preserver. It was like, I'm drowning and that dude has his shit together. And he said, if you just do this, this will happen. And I was like, I don't have other options. So I rolled with it. I learned early on that like, you don't have to be the most talented dude to win. You just have to you just have to outwork people. Mm-hmm. And if you just outwork and out hustle and do stupid shit, like show up on time and be honest and don't lie, mm-hmm. like, things just go your way. And I think I learned that lesson early on in life. Faith to me was always sidelined. Christmas, Easter, not a big issue. Didn't think about it. And then about 4 years ago, for whatever reason, it just like came into my life. And I look back on it now and like I truly believe that like God has a plan and mm-hmm. that it's laid out in front of me. And I may not always see the way, but that's what faith is, right? Mm-hmm. Faith isn't saying I know where the next step is. Faith is the courage to say I'm going to take a step. I'm going to take a step. I'm going to keep taking these steps, like because there's a plan for me. And it also, you know, like losing my dad was hard. So talking about doing the work for sure, you know, like you're young. Like we're back in the age when like you didn't have a dad, people would clown you. Oh, you're the kid with no dad. Like, you know, but we all got bullied to some degree.
Yep.
But I look at that now and I can reframe it to what the reality became is I learned like early in life, man, what a valuable lesson. Dude, nobody's coming to save you. Mm-hmm. Figure your shit out, handle your business. And when you learn that early, I think that helped me a lot. Mm-hmm. So I think that while if you ask me like binary, would you rather have had a father or not had a father? I'm going to choose have a father, right?
For sure. Yeah. But
is there a silver lining to not having a father? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because it taught me you're 7, get a paper route. You got to help feed the family. Mm-hmm. You're in the 3rd grade slinging papers at 4 a.m. on a bike by yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, cool. And then, so I think that just, it creates the character of who you are. I think that, you know what I mean? Like maybe it chiseled some rock away and made me a little bit more who I am. But like to say that I laid this path out and like, it's all me, like would be bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Was your father a good man?
Yeah, he was a Marine. So, you know, he was a Vietnam, Laos Marine. Mm-hmm. You know, I think I remember him. Phooey. I think I remember him, but the reality is like at this point in my life, I think I remember more of the stories.
Sure.
You know, or I think the stories that are told to me, mm-hmm. I'm like, was I there or is that a story? You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like what everybody would say, and I think a lot of people say posthumous anyway, but what my mom says, she never remarried. She's like, mm-hmm. he was the one, that was it. Yeah. But you know, he did a lot of things, had a lot of accolades, and you know, he was the kind of guy that came back from war. And my mom's like, "What'd you do?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it." Like, mm-hmm. and not to be bravado, but he's like, you know, like none of what I can tell you is going to make you think more of me. So, like, yeah, let's move on. You know,
that's over there.
Yeah, that's over there. And my grandpa was the same way. He was in like Patton's. I followed Patton's group in World War II on the landing and was on tanks. And he's like, I remember him saying to me, I asked him about it one time. He lived longer than my father did. And he's like, one mind spoiled is plenty for this family. So just be happy with the world that you live in.
Yeah.
And I was a little kid and I was like, I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? And I was like, I want to hear stories. Like, tell me about Army, you know? Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know, so one mind spoiled is enough for the family. So mm-hmm. enjoy the world that you live in here.
Yeah.
And that was it. And there was no other words. That's it. Mm-hmm. And I watch the movies now about what guys like that did. And I think, in my opinion, that was the greatest generation to ever walk the earth. So.
Yeah, man. Crazy shit, man. I admire and applaud your journey with that context, because it seems like, and don't get me wrong, I do not want to dismiss your journey to the NFL and beyond, but it really does seem like you've cracked the code as to the utility of these rites of passage.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you're conscious of it or not, what I'm picking up in the through line of your life is this adversity is not happening to me. Somehow, some way, driven by faith or otherwise, it's happening for me. And I think that in your energy, what I'm feeling is, rather than resist it, I'm going to move with it.
Mm-hmm.
With the belief in the meantime that somehow, some way, unbeknownst to me right here, right now, as I'm going through it, I'll be better for it.
Perfectly said, Mike. Like you said it better than I would say it, but man, you picked it up well. I feel as if there is a North Star,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm tracking that direction. And when the wind blows and when it gets cold, I'm like, I just keep tracking. That's just kind of who I'm just head down. I'm just going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always just kind of unfolded and worked out for me.
Yeah.
Now, have I had lucky breaks? Yeah, man. Listen, I was, like I said, I was the lucky to be their guy in the NFL. There was 1,000 dudes at college football that were as talented as me and could have done what I did in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I just was at the right place at the right time and got into the right. I wasn't one of the God-touched players.
Yeah.
And unless you play at that level, everybody thinks, oh, you must have been amazing. I was like, I was as good as like pretty much every other Division I tight end. I just happened to get the lucky break that day.
Yeah.
But maybe it comes with, preparation. Just never always put in the work. Like,
Mm-hmm.
No matter how far back you go, I don't think you'll ever find anybody anywhere in my narrative of my life that would say I didn't put in the work. You'd find people that say I was an asshole, and you'd find people that say, I had an ego, or like I'm not that good, or was that good, or whatever. But one thing that could never be slighted was like the dude always put in work. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Always did.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I love you, man. I'm happy we reconnected. I appreciate you reaching out, man. I'm so excited for everything that you're building.
Thanks.
Locker room leadership, ladies and gentlemen. Where can everybody get a hold of you, glean from your knowledge, and figure out what you got going on?
So I made it like not a money thing, because my driver is transparent that if I get to talk about it and I know people are listening, I will study more, which makes me better. There's my secret. Like, and if it benefits everybody around me, man, that's awesome. Knock yourself out. It's free. I don't have there's no next step to it. Clubfaction.com/book. Download my free manual. And what it is just like, hey man, here's 7 principles, kind of all the stuff we kind of articulated and talked about today.
Yeah.
And I think that, like Mike, you play ball, I play ball. How did we review what we did to see how we get better? You watch film.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, like, when was the last time you watched film on your life?
Mm-hmm.
And if you do watch film on your life, when was the last time you broke it into offense, defense, special teams? When was the last time? So I break that into, like, I have the 4 F's. Like, everybody's got their own little thing. So I say, like, hey man, if I was watching me in faith over the last month and it was a silent movie and I didn't have any influence on what the dude auditing me wrote, what would he write? Mm-hmm. Is this a man of faith or is this a man of bullshit? In fitness, if I didn't get to talk to them, but a silent movie, they filmed me for a year. Mm-hmm. What are they going to write about this? What does that film look like? Am I making the right choices? Am I not? What about my finance? Am I putting in hours to make ends? Like, what's my family look like? You know what I mean? Yep. Like, I can tell you this on the podcast, and 99% of these people on the podcast are never going to know what's real and what's not real because they don't know me. Mm-hmm. But like, the best thing you can do for yourself. Here's life hack 101, guys. Audit your own shit and look for what you can do better. Don't look for how you can pat yourself on the back. Yeah. And I think that manual gives you kind of that like a very easy stepping stone to do that.
I love it, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, dog.
You too, man. Thanks for keeping me on. Like, we filled an hour. Shit, we go for 3 hours. All
Oh,
right.
dude, hey, eventually it's going to be that for
Yeah.
sure. I'm looking for, dude. I'm so happy that we're our circles have intersected again, and I'm looking forward to spending more time in your light, man. I really am.
Yeah.
Yeah. For everybody out there looking to be the fittest leader possible, join us at Next Level. We're here to provide consistency and community, but it all begins with integrity, courage, and ownership. That foundation, though, is alignment first. Never forget that. And until next time, see you soon.